Troy King back with Imagine Out Loud, reading God's Bar and the Problem Patron, Episode 2. Mr. Jones was a proud sort. He had a pair of twin pistols, unseen weapons in this world. No one knew what they did but him, and they didn't shoot bullets. As time went on, the king heard tale of a wonderful city, with luxury he could only dream of despite his vast wealth, perfect temperature, ice at will, and food unknown to him. He decided to visit despite the warning of the priest. The king of Lockton was a tall man, towering 6 foot 5 inches, with a beard that went down to his chest, still brown hair and still young. He was known as a warrior and well loved, and as part of that love, many of his adventurers chose to share tales of this glowing paradise. Sir Reginald Arthur Drummond Locke, often just referred to as Sir Locke, went to meet Mr. Jones. Sir Locke went in plain clothes and tied his beard in braids so no one might recognize him. The resident priest currently protesting was Douglas Morgan of the Arya Conservatory, a local religious organization dedicated to a goddess of prosperity that bestowed a hero every few hundred years. He foretold it was approaching. Sir Locke, reconsider. The hero will need an introduction. What if you may be absent? What would the goddess think? Well, you know what they say in her scripture. Love thy neighbor and greet them as they are and extend to them understanding and kindness. I'm just greeting a neighbor. Plus, you couldn't greet the hero. Well, you can greet him. It's not really even my area of expertise. Sir, I know since you've ruled the demons have been silent ever since the last hero, but I heard they have a continent to the east, a stone city. Even the statues seem to breathe. They began to be heard 5 years ago by travelers. The statues number in the tens of thousands. Who know when they may wake or what they plan? Why do we not just smash the statues? Douglas, now sweating. Well, we've tried. It's just not. Well, they don't even crack. Some of them are quite large. All the more reason to see this neon city. Who knows what they might think? And they might know something. Plus, I could blow off the stress you're giving me. Stunned at first. Your Majesty, I would never. Don't you even know the burning there, the signs of the evil ones? It's for certain. It all drowned out as the king was now ignoring him, walking away, sword on his back, leather-bonded armor, plaid green sleeves, and pants. He walked into his kingdom. This was a sprawling city with a fine aqueduct. The king ushered in himself as part of the infrastructure he so prided himself with. Despite being a warrior, he wanted to change the lives of his citizens for the better. The city was massive for humans. You could go about 500 miles before ending it. Luckily, the castle was with carriage, and near the tail end, the king had the vision to have a back exit out of the city for his purposes only. As the night approached, he rose well an escort with his old friend and guard, Sir Buford. You say your men have been to this neon city before? How far is it? Who are all we bringing? Sir Buford said, well, just a week away each way. We'll need to bring a relief crew. Well, that means 2 people will kill me, the priest and my wife. But I'm dying to try this wine slushy, whatever that is. Plus, I must meet this Mr. Jones to see if he really is to be trusted or not. Like the priest says, maybe like our wanderers say as well. The group started off east in the same direction, but it wasn't really that far. It couldn't even reach the stone city, which was months further away. Flew Well, on the journey it flew by. They were a strange black and golden gate with the text inscribed Welcome Travelers, nothing behind it or to the side of it, just a gate that seemed rather odd. The king pushed the door back and it swung back to the touch, revealing a bustling bar in the cityscape. He was immediately greeted by a tall, attractive blonde woman with vibrant yellow eyes, who he wasn't meeting at the moment. Excuse me, sir. Do you want a bar-side seat or a table? Oh, yes, sorry. I'll try a table. Does Mr. Jones happen to be in? The barkeep said, Sure does. I'll send someone if you need him. What brings you here today? I heard you could make ice at will and your food was unlike anything else. We can do a whole lot more than ice. With a slight chuckle, she clicked a little box on the table and music started to come out of it. Much to the king's surprise, is that all right, or do you want something less upbeat? What is this? Where is it coming from? It's a jukebox. The table, do you not know anything you'd like to drink? Incredible. Do you have, wine slushies? Is that real? Another chuckle rang out. Yes, sir, to eat with the order. Anything? Whatever is good. I wouldn't know. The barkeep returned with fried chicken and a wine lemonade combo drink. It crunches so salty. This is wonderful. Uh, he placed some gold on the counter. Is this enough? He hadn't thought to ask for prices. The blonde barkeep looked and said, For this, a few days' worth at the end as well. Do you want to start a tab? But this is pocket change for even the commoners. Commoners are who we cater to. Anyone and all is welcome. Our prices are to allow absolutely anyone a good escape from the everyday. Sir Locke contemplating to himself, I can probably stay 2 weeks. Any more is I'm liable to get a greater earful than I'm already gonna get for coming. The barkeep, these inns you mentioned, are they uh, nearby? And about Mr. Jones, did someone send for him? I think he's at the darts. It should be a few minutes. Sir Locke finished the food and a rather large drink. No stranger to feasting, it didn't faze him much a little, or, well, a little more than he expected, though. Suddenly a man walked past his arms behind their back. He was still sleeping, and his arms were pinned by a shirt. Maybe it was a jacket. This man was in all white, albeit off-white, and his feet were in wooden sandals. Curious he wasn't hitting a thing with his eyes closed, damn near snoring. He seemed to move normally. Sir Locke, genuinely curious, called out to the man. Oddly enough, he noticed, and the barkeep suddenly came walking back to check on her customer. Oh, hey there, Jackson. Is darts already over? Where's Mr. Jones? As if given an answer, she speaks again. You meant he went off to the gardens? For what? Jackson, now standing facing her, nodding as she responds again. So you're saying Elsa went to greet our guest? Whatever for? Jackson seemed to grunt softly, and the barkeep continued responding. She'd want to see the king? What do you mean, the king? Jackson faced Sir Locke and focused on the two in confusion. You mean that's Sir Reginald Arthur Drummond Locke? Why isn't he in armor?